Everybody, welcome to the earliest alert. Going to be a fairly quick video today, getting right to the point here of the heat and, of course, the thunderstorm action. We've already had a small area of showers that maintain themselves since around 1 o'clock this morning, all the way across Washington County and Indiana, and have expanded a bit more into the Louisville Metro here as of last check. And they're starting to fade out. We may see more they'll redevelop here for this afternoon. A closer view shows the showers again crossing I-65 right now, but already beginning to fade out as they're moving off to the east. Not a lot of support in general for these things to feed off of, but what moisture there is, they're taking advantage of it. The main trigger is a boundary that's kind of snaked across Ohio along the river itself into western Kentucky, and it's that little weak boundary that has been just enough to kick up these downpours. But the boundary is barely moving, so therefore they are barely moving, pretty much feeding on the winds within themselves to kind of get around on one county to another. The high-res models for today show the activity fading out, but in that same zone where that boundary is, that's where they will likely repop again. You can kind of see where the boundary is. Ohio down to about Louisville, and then western Kentucky into Evansville looks to be the zone, and then they'll fade out once we get closer to sunset into the overnight period. When you look at the models in more detail, here are the PWATs, the precipitable water. You can see where right now it's maxed out across the bluegrass area of Kentucky. It's been helping promote those downpours. And this afternoon, you can certainly see the boundary right across Ohio into the Louisville area and western areas of Kentucky and Evansville. Almost exactly where it paints these pop-ups is where we're talking about the chance of rain today. So for those of you who say northwest of Louisville, closer to Paoli, maybe even Bedford, you're more likely to be just outside the storm zone for today. But anywhere south and east of that is pretty much fair game for a pop-up this afternoon. It's going to be spotty. Not everybody will pick up one, but hopefully you will, considering how little in the way of a rain chance we have to talk about for a while. Futurecast on the RPM shows the same story. It's pop-ups this afternoon, but more importantly for tomorrow, it's picking up on another wave passing through the Ohio Valley that may try to feed on another boundary that could spark some thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon at a different angle, more of a northwest to southeast angle as we head into the afternoon period. It's still a big if on that idea, but it is a possibility we could see that tomorrow. So at the moment, we're only going to keep it just a 10% chance in, and we'll see how it trends when we get closer. Then after that, the story is obviously the heat. It looks to max out Thursday and Friday. The ridge does about 597 heights, which is going to put us easily into the mid-90s. The ground, we're drier and browner. It will likely be more of a 100 to 102 degree type of setup for high. So at least the rains of the spring season and early summer have helped us out in keeping the actual numbers down. But it also increases the heat index, which will likely cross over 100 degrees and get close to advisory criteria, which is 3 consecutive hours or more with a feels-like temperature or heat index of 105. And that, again, is possible later this week to the start of the weekend. All the main storm flow and storm action way to our north across the Great Lakes. Very typical of a summertime pattern. Now, once we look down the road into next week, we see the ridge begin to flatten out a bit across the Great Lakes. And the Euro offers a very interesting setup by next week, where it's trying to place a high pressure over the Great Lakes. This would, since it's a clockwise flow, would allow for thunderstorms to develop in an opposite direction here, moving in from the east. And some of those could be fairly strong thunderstorms that will react to the mountains first, really blow up over the mountain chain, and we'll see how far west they can go. But this is what I was calling the backwards weather, if you will, for next week. If that high is placed where it could be, that would set the stage for some thunderstorms to roll in a very odd direction that we're not normally accustomed to. But we'll see how that plays out. Plenty of time to watch it. Between now and then, the heat is certainly the big headline, and hopefully you'll get some downpours to cool you off and get some rain for those gardens out there. All right, so stay cool, stay hydrated. I'll see you guys tomorrow.